Andrew Jackson was known to many Americans because his portrait appears on the $20 bill. This honor is usually reserved for heroes throughout our nation's history. Jackson, however, is not a hero. On the contrary, he should be considered one of the biggest villains in the United States history. In 1767, Andrew Jackson became the first U.S. president born in a log cabin. His father died 2 weeks before he was born. Jackson spent his youth on South Carolina's frontier. At the age of 14, he was orphaned when his mother died. As a teen, Jackson fought for American independence. He became a frontier lawyer and served in the United States Congress. He was the first congressman from Tennessee. Over time, Jackson owned a large plantation with over 140 slaves. In the election of 1824, Andrew Jackson had been running against William Crawford, Henry Clay, and John Quincy Adams. Andrew Jackson had the most popular and electoral votes in the election, but did not have the majority. So the decision went to the House of Representatives, of which Henry Clay was the Speaker, or leader, or the House. John Quincy Adams had made an agreement with Henry Clay that if he would influence the House to pick him, John Adams would make Henry Clay the Secretary of State. It was never proven that the agreement was ever made, but Jackson's followers believed it had, and called it the corrupt bargain.
Man, that Andrew Jackson is such a great guy. He got me a job in the federal government. When that hooligan and cheat John Quincy Adams was in power, he only let the rich people of our country get in to have a spot in the government. President Jackson, that there changed all that. He got rid of all those rich guys that had been in power for way too long. He got me the chance to vote, and I supported him all through his campaign. And now, because of the spoil system, I'm getting my first shot at being a part of the government. I was lucky to be at that ceremony when he was sworn into office. People came from all around. Woohoo!
Additionally, President Jackson relied on his close friends to advise him when he was president. They would come to the White House and meet with him in his kitchen. So, these men came to be known as his kitchen cabinet.
America forward and defend slavery forever. Then in 1828, Congress passed and that president signed into law a high tariff that I like to refer to as the Tariff of Abominations. This law helps northern manufacturers and it hurts us southerners. It made goods that we buy from Europe more expensive. When we South Carolinians tried to nullify this tariff, which I believe our state or any state had the right to do, President Jackson threatened to use the U.S. military to collect those taxes. Not wanting to start a civil war, I backed away from this nullification. However, I could no longer work with this bullet from Tennessee.
Andrew Jackson was not a fan of the U.S. Bank. He felt this way because he believed it benefited the ones who were wealthy. Henry Clay pushed Congress to renew the bank charter, but Jackson supported the West and vetoed the bank vote. He said, "The bank is trying to kill me, but I will kill it first." Jackson began to kill the bank in 1833, so he removed all the money and placed it in 23 state banks. All this did was weaken the American economy because it reduced the amount of money in the circulation.
Go.
Not only was General Jackson not satisfied with taking our land after that Battle of Horseshoe Bend, he had to slaughter our people in Florida. The chief of your so-called Supreme Court ordered that the state of Georgia give us back our land. As president, your Jackson refused to enforce this ruling. Instead, Jackson forced our 5 native tribes, totaling over 100,000 people, to move to some worthless land called Oklahoma. How long until Jackson and the rest of the white man